Hello everyone, it's the weekend. Welcome again to United Insurance's Line and Length. It's the cricket show where we look at the sport not only in the region but overseas as well. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Welcome to all of you watching on Sportsmax and Scene TV. Andrew Seeley is with me, and what a tremendous weekend. We've seen some big hitting at the IPL, and also the West Indies getting ready for their We versus Them series. They're playing against New Zealand.
Well, certainly big hitting is it. Raina, Seawag, you just call the names, it's happening. Robin Utapa. I mean, certainly the IPL is on everyone's lips, and the finals are here tomorrow.
That's right, the finals are on Sunday. Kolkata Knight Riders playing against Kings 11, who I must say have been very consistent from the very first match when they upset the Chennai Super Kings in this tournament, and they beat them for the third consecutive time in this year's IPL. We're going to talk about that a bit later, but first, Denesh Ramdin, the new West Indies captain, is in Barbados, and of course they're here for a very big camp. He had a lot to say, Andrew, and it comes in the wake of the preview to the We versus Them series, and also you look at the fact that it's his first time since he's captaining that Darren Sammy has left.
Well, certainly a challenge for Denesh Ramdin. He's all on his own virtually. Seems as if Dwayne Bravo may not be available. So Ramdin is literally on his own. Brand new captain, behind the stumps. The challenge is there. Some of the legends have come in. Interestingly enough, Sir Garfield Sobers, Sir Vivian Richards has a lot positive to say about Ramdin. That's good. Curtly Ambrose. So we expect and we see the challenge of We versus Them, West Indies versus New Zealand.
Yeah, so 3 nights helping the West Indies team. And don't forget Sir Richard Richardson is manager.
Oh my gosh.
4 nights.
Cricketing nights.
Yeah, are all within the spectrum. But on the first part of United Insurance's Line and Length today, we're going to hear from Denesh Ramdin, the new man at the helm of West Indies cricket. We'll start with him when we come back.
When you are insured with United Insurance, you know you're in safe hands because our AM Best Excellent rating means that we have the financial strength and stability to protect your prized possessions. Rely on the company that understands your needs for property, motor, business, and marine insurance. For all your general insurance needs, choose United Insurance.
In the Caribbean, we do things a little differently. Okay, a lot differently. Our parties are bigger and more colorful. Our people are more beautiful and more sensual. Our fans are more expressive and louder. And our cricket is exhilarating. Limacall CPL, the biggest party in sport, is back, and it's time to come see the stars of West Indies cricket alongside the best international players in T20. Peterson, Mulitharan, Hafiz, and many more when the Limacall CPL returns from 11th July to 16th August. The Caribbean comes alive with partying, dancing, cheering, and the thrill of the Limacall Caribbean Premier League. It's time to join the biggest party in sport. See cplt20.com for details.
As the battle heats up across the region in the Limacall Caribbean Premier League T20, there's only one way to keep your cool. Limacall.
Limacall, the freshness of a breeze in a bottle.
Well, Denesh, thanks for joining us on the program. You're no stranger to Line and Length, but I want to ask you first of all, straight up, how do you see this series? West Indies versus New Zealand, We versus Them. You're the captain in a team that has not done well in the last year or so in Test cricket. How do you see your challenge?
I would say it's very exciting. First time as captain, West Indies Test captain. Looking forward to the challenge. All the other players have given me that support, assured me that they will give me that support going into the first test. And I believe we have the capability of doing well in the first test. Not just doing well, but the bowling lineup, the Jerome Taylor, Kimar Roach, Solomon Ben. I believe we have the bowling attack. I just believe we need to put runs on the board and things will go our way.
While I hear you, Denesh, what is your biggest challenge?
I would say batting both innings. If you put up a good score in the first innings, we will need to to put up a good score in the second innings to ensure that our bowlers could have something to bowl with. The bowling has been doing good so far. We had a practice match and the guys had a good outing. It's still 10 days away from that, and hopefully our batters can get some more time out in the middle and come first the 8th of June. They put up a good show. The young Darren Bravo, Kieran Powell, myself, Marlon Samuels, all those senior guys need to step up as well.
Let's talk a little bit about injuries. You got Dwayne Bravo, he says he's about 80% fit. You got Chris Gayle returning from Germany tomorrow. He's obviously not 100% fit. Kemar Roach has not bowled a lot in the last year because of his the problems he's been having with his back and so on. And you also have Jerome Taylor, who's returning from a very long layoff. So you have a team that is not 100% fit. How do you see the fitness within your squad, given the constraints that they've had in the last series against India and New Zealand?
Yeah, I think we'll have to take it as we go along. Some guys are injured and they'll come back when they're fully fit. But having said that, the guys who we have here should be able to go through the test matches and perform to 100%. We know Kemar Roach is coming back, but he looks ready to go. We'll have to manage him with the amount of workload that he gets. Jerome Taylor played a full season this year and he did well. And we have young Shannon Gabriel who's 100% fit. So we have fast bowlers who are there to go. Young Jason Ola as well, who's in the squad, and hopefully whoever gets selected will do the job. I believe they have the capability in themselves.
I never asked you this question. What was the big problem in New Zealand? Because that first test was a grand fight back. Darren Bravo got a double century. Things seemed to be on the up. But then the West Indies just went downhill. What was the problem in New Zealand?
Yeah, the first test, I would say we got away with a narrow draw. We had some confidence going into the second test. Looking at the pitch in the second test with the amount of grass, I think it played a part in our minds in terms of batters. I think that got the better of us in terms of going out there and thinking about the amount of grass. I don't think it played that badly. Probably shot selection, and it was more mental than anything else. I believe now we are playing home and it doesn't have the amount of grass it had there. I don't think the bowlers will get that much movement off the pitch. They will get that swing, obviously with left-hand seamers, Tim Saudi. Those guys are natural swing bowlers. But off the pitch, I don't think it will do as much as it did at that time down there.
This first test in Jamaica is a special one for Chris Gayle. It's his 100th test match. You've played against him, you've played with him, you're captaining him now. Tell me a little bit about how you see that milestone for Chris Gayle.
It is a fantastic milestone for Chris Gayle. You have played so much cricket over the years. You have done well, triple century, double century, singles. He mentioned to us he have no time of retiring yet, and he would like to continue to play as long as possible. He have a lot to give still to West Indies cricket, and he went to Germany to get some treatment, and hopefully when he's back on the first, we'll assess situation. And when he comes back, hopefully that he gives 100. He will be 100% ready for that first test. There's a big occasion for him, as well as the West Indies Cricket Board, the WIPA Awards. Everything is spilling a big celebration for Chris Gayle.
I'll flip the script now and talk about the opposition, New Zealand. They are a team that have not done well in the Caribbean recently. But like I said, I don't want to spend too much time harping on it. They did beat the West Indies 2-0. How do you see the opposition that you're going to be playing against?
I would say that some of the strengths is that their swing bowling. If they get it in the right areas, they can cause problems for our batters, which they did in New Zealand. And they'll be confident with that, trying to get us LBW ball down, swing it, get our top order out early, get the middle order with that new ball. Some of the weakness, we will say, the top order, the 1, 2, 3, those three guys, and the lower order, we'll try to shut them down as quickly as possible. The main batters, the Ross Taylor, the Brendan McCullum, those are the two main guys who get runs for them. The last series against India, they put on a lot of runs. They'll be high in confidence. But having said that, if we have the bowlers, if we get it in the right areas, we create chances. The pitches will suit us, I would say, more than them in terms of they like the ball coming onto the bat. And hopefully we will be able to create that chances. Those chances that our slip cordon could come into play, LBW, that sort of thing. But they're going to be aggressive. They're not going to lie down and let us run away with the game.
What kind of man, though, really is Denesh Ramdin as captain, as player, as a person? What kind of man is Denesh Ramdin?
I would say I bring to the table very calm, cool, and relaxed. Just look at everything that's happening around me, take the advice from everyone, and try to put it into play. Some advice I wouldn't use it right away, but I would be going up to the Chris Gale, the Dwayne Bravo, the Darren Bravo, whoever is there to share that, the Chanda Paul, all those guys who have played numerous amount of test matches. It's my first match. I don't think I will know everything as a captain. They will see things that they will help me. As the coach and staff said, they're 100% behind me, so I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a fun match for us, but at the same time, it's going to be a serious one.
Many people have said perhaps you're modeling yourself after someone like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the Indian captain. He's also a top-class wicket-keeper. Do you model yourself after him as one of the current-day players?
What I would say, he's the type of captain who is very calm and relaxed. That is what I've learned about him. He's relaxed about it. He thinks a lot about the game. Inside, he doesn't see much of his movement. If a catch goes down, he doesn't show a lot of emotions or anything like that. He does his things in a very smart manner, and it's very difficult to class myself with him. He has a lot of runs, a lot of catches, and World Cups behind him. And to do that, you have to have great players behind you. I think you have some great players with him. And if our players start to get the amount of runs that they normally could, and the bowlers to pick up wickets, all that orders well for the team. And when the team is doing well, sometimes they say it's a good captain, but if the team is performing that the way it should, he will take the credit.
Finally, Denesh, will the West Indies win this series?
I believe so. The last time they came here, we won 2-0. Our spinning department is very important. Sunil Narayan will be back. That's all those guys will be in contention for selection. So hopefully once we get the right team, the right balance, we get the runs on the board, I can't see why our bowlers could get 20 wickets in a test match.
Well, Denesh, I want to thank you so much for being on the program. We wish you well in the We versus Them series. When we come back on United Insurance's Line and Length, we got the Pepsi IPL, a review, and also look at what's happening around the world of cricket. Stay with us.
When you are insured with United Insurance, you know what it feels like to feel this safe. Choose the financially strong regional insurance company with the strength and stability to protect your prized possessions. For property, motor, business, and marine insurance, you're in safe hands with United Insurance.
In the Caribbean, we do things a little differently. Okay, a lot differently. Our parties are bigger and more colorful. Our people are more beautiful and more sensual. Our fans are more expressive and loud. And our cricket is exhilarating. Limacall CPL, the biggest party in sport, is back, and it's time to come see the stars of West Indies cricket alongside the best international players in T20. Peterson, Mulitharan, Hafiz, and many more when the Limacall CPL returns from 11th July to 16th August. The Caribbean comes alive with partying, dancing, cheering, and the thrill of the Limacall Caribbean Premier League. It's time to join the biggest party in sport. See cplT20.com for details.
As the battle heats up across the region in the Limacall Caribbean Premier League T20, there's only one way to keep your cool. Limacall.
Limacall, the freshness of a breeze in a bottle.
So great stuff. I sincerely wish Denesh Ramdin all the best as we look forward to that series, which of course starts on June the 8th in Kingston, Jamaica. Let's talk IPL cricket now. Tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to see the big final in Pepsi IPL 7, and it's between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Kings 11 Punjab. Like I said at the beginning of the tournament, they have been very consistent. In the very first match when they beat the Chennai Super Kings, scoring 205 at that time, that's when Dwayne Bravo was injured. I said to myself, Kings 11 look very serious this year. They had the mix right, and I'm not surprised that they've made it into the final, even though they stumbled in that qualifier one.
Well, certainly what we're seeing from them is an extremely explosive batting lineup. The likes of Maxwell and Miller and company, that is an explosive lineup, and that lineup has allowed them, with a considerably weakened bowling attack, to be able to defend the 200-plus scores that they have managed, because they have been the only team to get the 200-plus scores in the IPL. And I guess if you score enough runs in a T20, you will win.
Let's look at that game on Friday when they did, in fact, beat Chennai Super Kings. It was a run feast, you could say. 226 for 6 scored by the Kings 11. It was not Maxwell, who was only scored 39 runs in 5 innings, his last 5 innings, but Virender Sehwag was hot on the trot. 122 from 58 balls, 12 fours, and 8 towering sixes.
Well, interestingly enough, Sehwag is now a forgotten man in Indian international cricket, but he's making a comeback in T20. Gautam Gambhir has been recalled to the Indian test side, but Sehwag is still out in the cold, perhaps trying to prove a point or two to the captain, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who stood behind him for the entire duration of the innings. But certainly, what is interesting is that they only scored 15 runs in the last 2 overs, which means that if they'd actually scored more than 15, can you imagine what the score would have been?
It would have been probably 270 or some world record.
Yeah,
of course, the world record for the highest T20 score in international cricket is when Chris Gill made that 175. So he was certainly going very well. But we then saw what I consider to be, I thought it was, I wouldn't say, was it a better innings? I thought it was a better innings in the context of how they went around.
Given the fact that you are chasing, first of all, the fact that you are chasing 227 to win, it means you have to go. And Suresh Raina went.
87 from 25, 12 fours, 6 sixes, a startling strike rate of 348. This man has played special in the last, I would say, 5-6 games, especially when Dwayne Smith himself has kind of slightly tapered off. Suresh Raina has taken the mantle, batting at number 3. I thought he was the best number 3 this year. But to score 87 from 25 is simply bananas.
And certainly then, but Barry, then to be run out by Brendan McCullum when you're 87 off 25 balls. Heart-wrenching. And I think that was the turning point in the game. And thereafter, Kings 11 Punjab were definitely on their way to the finals.
Yes, indeed they were. We saw Dhoni make a nice little 42 not out from 31 balls, 3 fours and 3 sixes. But generally, you would have to give great applause to the Chennai Super Kings for even attempting to get anything near 227. Fans saw in 20 overs 428 runs scored. You don't even see that in 50 over cricket.
No, it's fantastic, and it all happened within 3 hours.
Within 3 hours.
So think about it, within 3 hours. But what we have seen, Barry, in this IPL, and which to me is a positive for Indian cricket and perhaps world cricket, Raina, Kohli, Dhoni, these guys are the crux of Indian batting for the future, and they're all in fantastic form.
Indeed they are. Let's rewind a little bit to the game on Wednesday. There were 2 matches on Wednesday. Chennai Super Kings trying to get in to that all-important game on Friday. They beat the Mumbai Indians very comfortably, and Mumbai did not make a bad score. 173 for 8 is not terrible at all in T20. Lendl Simmons again leading the way. He's made everyone in the West Indies, Trinidad and Tobago so proud because he came in at a late stage in this IPL tournament. Literally the 11th hour, and has been Mr. Consistent.
Certainly, until he arrived, the Mumbai Indians had not had an opening partnership of 50-plus at any stage. And within the last 5 games that Simmons played, he was able to show and demonstrate perhaps a consistency which we have not seen in West Indies cricket. What it says to me is perhaps the selectors need to start looking at framing our T20 team and our 50-over team and look at the combination of Dwayne Smith and Lendl Simmons, given the fact that the injuries to Chris Gayle perhaps suggest that he may not have that much longer in the shortened forms of the game.
Indeed. So congrats back then, you would say, to Chennai for beating Mumbai. Mumbai, the defending champions, were huddled out. Kolkata Knight Riders have been kept on the ice just for a couple of days. That game was supposed to be played on last Tuesday, but because of bad weather, it was played on Wednesday, which turned out to be a doubleheader. Let's look ahead to the form of the leading wicket taker, Sunil Narine. Didn't bowl particularly well in that game. He bowled 4 overs, none for 30, but scrap that. Sunday is a fresh day, and I'm sure he's going to be bringing his A game to the table.
Well, certainly Narine is a big day player, a big game player. He's the holds the purple cap because he has the most wickets in the IPL. I'm sure at the end of the tournament on Sunday, he will once again have the most wickets and also wear that hat again. And Narain has developed a consistency that we have not been able to see from any bowler in any form of T20 cricket. No batsman is strong or favourite enough to deal with Narain. I think it will happen once again on Sunday.
Do you think that he is going to miss that first test? Because, you know, there's some big speculation now that because he's playing on Sunday, that he will not get to the camp in time. The mandatory date for the camp is Sunday. He's going to obviously miss that.
He's obviously going to miss that. We've been told by the owners of the Kolkata Knight Riders that they will have a private jet waiting to send Narain straight to Kingston, Jamaica. If the West Indies selectors and board don't feel that they don't want Sunil Narain, that would be very interesting.
Well, the deal was if you could not get to Barbados for June 1st, that you couldn't get into the camp, that you were not going to play. Are we going to see a shift? Are we going to see a change in the minds of the selectors?
Or are we going to see Shillingford and Sulman Ben playing in Kingston?
Yeah.
That's the question, really.
That's the question. The answer soon to come. But IPL 7, the big final, live and exclusive on Sunday on Sportsmax. Kolkata Knight Riders versus Kings 11 Punjab. Andrew Seeley, name your winner.
I'm picking Kolkata Knight Riders. I'm going against the batting because I believe that Narain can defeat the Kings 11 Punjab.
Like Danny Morrison said on this program, carve up the Kolkata Knight Riders. They're going to be carved up.
Carved up.
And
Well,
you're going to see Kings 11 with bells on. I'm going with the Kings 11 to carve up the Kolkata Knight Riders.
and we'll be back next week to discuss it. No problem.
We'll also be back in just about a couple of minutes. So when we do come back, we're going to talk about Kevin Cooper, and we're also going to look ahead to
Somebody
that
called Christopher
big
Jordan.
Yeah, Christopher Jordan,
Christopher
bowling really
Jordan.
well. Have the West Indies selectors missed an opportunity yet again? When we come back.
When you are insured with United Insurance, you know you're in safe hands because our AM Best Excellent rating means that we have the financial strength and stability to protect your prized possessions. Rely on the company that understands your needs for property, motor, business, and marine insurance. For all your general insurance needs, choose United Insurance.
In the Caribbean, we do things a little differently. Okay, a lot differently. Our parties are bigger and more colorful. Our people are more beautiful and more sensual. Our fans are more expressive and louder. And our cricket is exhilarating. Limacall CPL, the biggest party in sport, is back, and it's time to come see the stars of West Indies cricket alongside the best international players in T20. Peterson, Mulitharan, Hafiz, and many more when the Limacall CPL returns from 11th July to 16th August. The Caribbean comes alive with partying, dancing, cheering, and the thrill of the Limacall Caribbean Premier League. It's time to join the biggest party in sport. See cplt20.com for details.
As the battle heats up across the region in the Limacall Caribbean Premier League T20, there's only one way to keep your cool. Limacall.
Limacall, the freshness of a breeze in a bottle.
We're back for the final segment this week, United Insurance's Line and Length. Let's talk a little bit about Kevin Cooper, and I'll be the first to admit he's done so well at the Pepsi IPL, and I sent out a tweet saying, why isn't Kevin Cooper part of the West Indies setup? The day later, we saw a story online which suggests that Kevin Cooper had been called reported for throwing. I'm wondering, is this why the West Indies selectors have been a bit cautious in their approach in pushing Kevin Cooper? Because he's done well for the Rajasthan Royals every time he's played. And I'm beginning to wonder if that has been a major concern of theirs as to why we have not seen Kevin Cooper wear the maroon hat.
Remember that when we first started with the Caribbean T20, the precursor to the Caribbean Premier League, Kevin Cooper playing for Trinidad and Tobago here in Barbados, we saw him take quite a few wickets, and everyone around Kensington Oval was suggesting that there was something wrong with his action. That was close to 4 years ago. He went to Australia, had some work done on it, he came back, but obviously not enough has been done. So I would probably posit that you are correct, Barry. The selectors have been very cautious, having gone through the scenario with Shane Chillingford, Marlon Samuels. Perhaps they didn't feel the need to have a third leg to stand on again in Kevin Cooper. But you are correct. Cooper has been a positive cricketer. He does well for Trinidad and Tobago, did well for the Royals, and perhaps could be, because we're desperately looking for an all-rounder. Darren Sammy is in Glamorgan. We're looking for an all-rounder.
Yes, and there are 2 T20s in Dominica. I'm sure Sammy, of course, will be back to captain the team for that, because the contract...
Are you sure? I'm not sure.
The contract that he has with Glamorgan stated that he's available to play for them when not playing international for the West Indies. So, he's don't forget he is indeed still on the retainer contract with the West Indies board, so he has to make himself available, although sooner the right is also on the retainer contract.
And he's an A contract. And sooner the right is an A contract.
I think the difference with that contract is that he was given an NOC to play
for Glamorgan.
No, I'm talking about Narayan.
Okay,
he was given an NOC to play for Kolkata Knight Riders, but that final on June 1st precursors the test match on the 8th, but then the cap is where the late rule came in, saying that if you cannot make the cap date, then you can't play in that first test.
How technical is this, Brian? Is it more technical than the game of cricket?
I think that he's going to escape on that technicality, because he will make himself available for that June 8th test, but that cap, how much of a factor was that cap rule? Not to stray from the point though, we want to see the action get sorted out for Kevin Cooper, because I think he
has something to offer to West Indies.
He is an important cog. Look how well he bats when promoted. Batting at number 3 in about 4 or 5 games. He came in and
changed the game. Change the game.
Strike
He's
rate
a game changer. Like I said, we're looking for an all-rounder, and Kevin Cooper may well fit the bill.
Indeed. Now, talking about fit the bill, I was pleased as punch when I saw Christopher Jordan bowl so well against the Sri Lankans. It came after a very embarrassing performance by England when they were dished out for just under 90, I think it's 99.
Just over 90, yeah.
And it was so embarrassing to see how England cricket had sunk at that particular stage, but then bounced back thanks to a Barbadian, a West Indian, 5 for 29, bowled with lots of control and picked up his first 5 at this level. Graham Swan is now saying, put this man in the test team. How do you feel about that?
Well, certainly, I believe he's ready. But my understanding is that Stuart Broad will not be fit, so the Anderson-Broad combination will not be available for the first test against Sri Lanka. I know the Sri Lankans don't want to see Jordan line up in that first test match. They have not wanted to see him in the red or the blue, and they certainly don't want to see him in the white. Jordan is outstanding. He's aggressive. His line and length, he swings the ball, he moves the ball. The Sri Lankans have not got his number at all. And I think England would have missed a trick, as we would say, if they don't put Jordan in that first test match.
Yeah, I would have to detail that. He's been bowling well, and the Sri Lankans, I don't think with that kind of weather, with the conditions, they haven't quite worked him out. Now, for the first time since 1959, I think it is, India, they'll be going for a big test series against England. 5 test matches. It's the first time in quite a while they're playing 5 tests in England.
But
Live and exclusive on Sports Max.
But India and England are running world cricket now. They can decide if they want 5 tests, 3 tests, 6 tests, or 10 tests. So we having 5, and it's India versus England. And once again, the time has come for Indian batsmen to show whether they can handle the swing and movement of an English summer.
Well, we can't decide if we want more than half an hour, so our time is up. But we got much more to discuss. Stay tuned on Sports Max, because tomorrow, Sunday, the big IPL final, Kolkata Knight Riders versus Kings 11. Don't forget, you can reach us by email, cricket@lineandlength.net, or on Twitter @linelength. We're going to see you next week. We will preview that first test, Chris Gale's 100th. We'll know by then for sure if he's fit to play. And also, we'll look back at the IPL 7, which would have been won by Kings 11 come Sunday.
But certainly a team with a K. A team with a K will win for sure.
So they can engrave the K on the trophy. Not quite sure the other letters to follow. That's it for this week's show. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.